That's it.
The floor is yours, sir.
Okay, thank you. Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me. I'm going to talk this evening about the townwide 20 extension to the existing 20 that was, and also got some slides on the proposal for the Oxford to Sevenoaks, the phase one, which is from Vestry Road to Blackpool Road. So there's some slides on that. So for the townwide 20, just wanted to give you a few some data. I can get that working.
Oh, it might. Okay, I'll just do it if it's working.
That's it. So we'll do two things at once. Yeah.
Sorry, but
No, that's okay. Is that working now? Yeah. So the start of the scheme, this was requested a while ago, and we went through the consultations. I won't go into all the detail because Sevenoaks Town Council was heavily involved in the consultations, but we implemented the scheme in August and September 2024. And this is, we only focused on roads that were 30 miles and where average speeds were existing around 24 miles an hour or less. And I think that's important to highlight that we would only instigate non-road marking or only road markings or signing for speeds up to 24 miles an hour. Over that, it would most likely need some other interventions for traffic calming to try and help the speeds reduce. And therefore, we didn't put any traffic calming measures in. It was literally signing and road markings. Please do ask questions as you go, if that's all right, Chair, or would you prefer at the end?
It doesn't really matter. It's probably easier if you do a presentation and then people can do questions at the end, and then it keeps the flow going for you.
Not the greatest of plans, but this is just showing all the roads within the extents, which is the black dashed line. And this was agreed early on in the scheme proposal that we wouldn't extend it any further from that black dashed line. The colours here are a bit difficult to see, but the light blue are private roads. We didn't, and there's a lot of private roads actually in Sevenoaks. We didn't look at those. The navy blue is the existing extent of the 20s. The yellow was the proposed, which we instigated in August, September of 24. And the pink were roads that we felt were not suitable for just signing and road markings because the speeds were slightly above the 24 miles an hour, near 30 miles an hour.
Sorry, just a quick point. On these private roads, although we're not particularly looking at them, do we think most of them are 20 miles an hour anyway?
Probably 5.
I don't have a feel for that, but I expect
20 or less?
Britain's Lane might be a bit faster, but I don't know. We didn't do any data collection on the private roads.
Britain's Lane's not a private road.
Oh, sorry, okay, got that one now.
Not to worry, nobody knows the answer.
A lot of the ones to the south and west are 15, I think.
Yeah. I.e. they're already sort of generally low speed, if you like. Anyway, as part of the low speed network, you could consider those things that are pale blue are kind of in it.
Yeah.
By default. Sorry.
We did pre and post surveys. These are the locations on the extended 20 miles an hour that was implemented. So I've broken this down into the extended 20, not including the whole of the town, but I'll explain as I go along. So these are spot surveys where you look across the road and then when vehicles go over it, we get that registered. We also have, now there is a lot of words on this one, but basically we split the data into two, the automatic vehicle counts, which is the loops, and we also have connected vehicle data, which is via phones or car mobile car apps. So they it collects data and we can see what the speeds are by using the vehicle data. Now this is talking about the whole of the town centre, sorry, the whole of the town of the 20 mile per hour, not just the extended bit. And you can see here it's saying that the mean speed has reduced by 1.76 miles an hour over the whole town, which is really positive. And the links, and a link on the connected vehicle data is between junctions, basically. So it's not a length; they can vary in lengths, but it's generally between junctions. And in total, for the connected vehicle data, 62% of the links saw a reduction in mean speeds, again, really positive. And there was a bigger reduction in speed on the faster roads. So where they were heading more 24 miles an hour, we saw a bigger reduction in speeds. And that's generally the case actually nationally, where we would expect about 1 mile per hour reduction in speeds with non-traffic calming measures. So Sevenoaks is really fitting into sort of the model of nationally, where 1 mile per hour reduction, and that equates to positively equates to about 6% reduction in incidents and severity should there be an incident. So it doesn't sound like a lot, but it is when you look at the crash statistics. So that 1 mile per hour is important. So across the whole scheme, there was just under 1 mile per hour reduction in speeds.
Sorry, another silly question. As our statistician, Tony, is not here, if you're including all the roads in this that were already 20 miles an hour, is that right?
On this, yes, on this slide.
You're including them in the analysis, then if you're looking at the reductive effect for going from 30 to 20, those things are always already 20 if they're in there. You wouldn't expect them to see them having so much of a reduction as the ones that have come down from 30 to 20. So doesn't that underestimate the effect of going from 30 to 20 on just the new roads? In the when you say the mean is lower, that's the mean of a lot of things where it has been 20 and it was 20 before, so you wouldn't expect much change. So that is crowding out to some extent a bigger change that is probably happening in the 30 to 20 sector. Is that logical?
I'm not sure. To be honest, I can't quite understand what
It sounds logical, what you're saying, but
Could I just take, have you analysed the statistics taking out the existing 20 mile an hour area?
we have, and this is what I would just come on to now. So
Right,
Okay.
Yes, that would answer the question if those two sets of data are different.
Yes.
they are, and we also need to understand over time what additional measures we may need to do, because not all the roads have seen a reduction. Some of the existing 20s have slightly gone up in speed, and it's understanding why they've done that. But for the extended links, and this is based on the data in the vehicles, 71% saw a reduction in mean speeds, but 29% saw an increase in mean speeds. So that's between pre and post. So just on the extended, it was 0.4 miles an hour difference on average. So that's, but it is on a small amount of data collected. So we do need to, over the next year or so, understand what that actually means. Are people just getting used to it, or are there other measures that we should take into account? And right from the start, when we were looking at this, we did suggest that there needed to be regular campaigns about speed awareness, just not relying on the signing and road markings and drivers hopefully following the road signing. So again, I think we do need to understand that a little better, what's needed. This maps.
Sorry, I'm slightly confused by those numbers. When you say 29% saw an increase
these were roads that were 30 miles an hour, we reduced them to 20 and the speeds went up. And 30
weren't-
percent of the road.
They weren't all 30, the speed limit was 30, vehicles were probably travelling below 24 miles an hour, although it's a 30 mile per hour speed limit.
Yeah,
So they could have been, say, travelling 24 and they went up to 24.5 miles an hour. So that's an increase. Some that might be travelling 24 might have gone down as well. So yeah, don't just think about the 30 to 20. It's not that rigid. It's
yeah.
we only implemented these in roads that were already generally around 24 miles an
There
hour.
could have just been less traffic, so the traffic was flowing.
Well, yeah, there could be, and this data is on a selected amount of vehicles. So the more data we collect over the next few years, the more we'll have a better feel for.
So the vehicles, are they the ones where people have, like our teenagers have got kids in the car? And where are these links? Where's the data coming from?
It's actually within the car, so you can have vehicles, fleet vehicles, but generally Google's in most modern cars, so you collect the data from
From Google?
or other
Wow.
There's
I don't know if I consented to that.
There's lots of software in cars. So when
So we're
you
using Google Maps when we're driving around.
Google, it's not via your phone, it's in your car.
And they report it to the police as well if you go over the speed limit.
Data will show that certain types of people are prone to speeding, and if you could target with information those groups of individuals that always speed, you know.
They're called men.
I suspect so.
Yeah, because I bet I wouldn't be surprised if it's a certain number of people who are speeding. Or is that not true, or is it like, you know?
Well, we haven't got that data on who's speaking, individuals, that would be GDPR,
Yeah.
pushing it a little bit too
I know, but that would be, you
Google probably knows it.
know what I mean, like.
I do, yeah.
I'm surprised if it's
Yeah.
kind of.
Big brother.
Yeah,
But a lot of the modern cars are fitted with sort of speed awareness bleeps, aren't they? So because you travel around and you're warned. So I mean that kind of does perhaps draw your attention to it more, doesn't it? If you have that kind of
Yeah.
software installed in the car.
I suspect we don't know half of what they're collecting.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some cars. you can
Anyway,
set
sorry,
it
I think I
Okay, let's continue.
Let's
Let's move on.
Okay, so this is just the data on the extended 20. You can see the red here are a few the few of the links have gone up, but the majority of the roads are below the 24 miles an hour. So what we should be doing is focusing on saying why are those above, and some of them are really small links, and I'm amazed actually you can go above like the top right hand corner.
Yeah.
So pre was 27.5 miles an hour. Post is that's gone down actually, so not quite sure that's gone red.
Can't believe those ones in the top right hand corner, how you would ever get to
No.
those speeds.
No,
on those
exactly.
two roads.
How would
Both
you?
dead ends.
They're both in, exactly.
I could see Seal Hollow Road going like that because I'm regularly nearly run over.
Yeah, the one.
But the ones in the town centre are of great interest, I think, with Seal Hollow Road, and I think we all know that the stretch by the Vine is particularly difficult for people to adhere to coming out of town. You get free of the crossroads, and we talked about it before this was implemented. There was so much exploration of what we could do around managing speed in that area that ultimately wasn't pursued. But we knew that was going to be a problem area. How big a problem is it?
Well, that area now we've put the zebra crossing in and reduced that to 20. I haven't got the data on that because it's only been in there for a little while, but I think this plan's actually quite helpful because we've made the thickness of the line highlight the difference in speeds. So then the smaller the line, the less speed reduction, or for the red, the speeds are between 2 and 6 miles an hour more than they were pre. So there is some weird data that we're collecting here that we do need to fully understand. But the greater reductions are the thicker green lines. So if you see Seal Hollow Road at the bottom, it's actually to 2.34 miles an hour reduction on that.
Yeah, I can imagine that would be.
On the previous slide, it was a.
It did say more on that, didn't it? So let's just go back to that, see.
Over time, Jamie, would you expect this data to level out?
That's the bit about what more information, what more work we need to do. I think if we just leave drivers to get used to it, I think we do need to have a sort of a campaign, a regular road safety campaign awareness. Actually, this one is about what's over 24 miles an hour still, rather than the difference in speeds, whereas this one is, they're still over 24, but it's showing a greater reduction.
And is it clever enough to differentiate between going up the hill and down the hill?
We could have that data. I haven't got that data, but I'm pretty sure the vehicle collection data would give us that. I'm nearly there. Just this is the difference in median speeds again. There's a couple of roads there that have gone up between 2 and 6 miles an hour. It's just helpful for us to focus on where we need to do some additional work.
But again, sorry, some of those roads that you're picking out there, or that particularly have picked themselves out in the red, are ones that you'd be hard pressed to walk down at any speed and drive down.
I think it's odd, and I think with data, it can give you all sorts of things. We need to be sensible with what the data actually shows us.
Yeah.
But generally, I mean, if you look at it as a whole scheme, it's still quite positive with about a mile per hour. So the individual roads, some are going to be a bit faster. They're wide. I'm 2 more slides on this one, and I'll just give you the crash statistics here that we want to work on 3 years. Generally, we need 3 years post scheme data. So we've had, just on the extended, there have been 30 collisions within the period we looked at. So that was 3 years before, and then since we've implemented the 20. You've got fatals, serious, slight, and then the KSI is the killed and serious injuries. So we've had 9 out of the 30 have taken place since we installed it. So we haven't got enough data yet really to find out whether the incidents have gone down, but they appear to be moving in the right direction. For some reason, the slights since September 25 have gone up. And there was one serious injury. So this year's not been great. And so what we will do is we'll look to see if there's any clusters there that if it was just a speeding issue, individual incidents are really tricky for us to work out whether we can do any engineering to reduce that. So again, over 3 years, we look to see if there's clusters of incidents at particular locations that we can engineer out of.
I mean, that's the high street, isn't it? Essentially.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, and you would expect that actually.
It's such an inherently dangerous stretch because people there's cars sometimes going quite fast.
I'm just aware of the time. Okay, so let's just back.
Jamie, sorry, before we move on,
Yeah,
sorry,
go
one
on.
question on that. Are you also tracking the data on incidents that happen in the 30-mile-an-hour zones that were excluded from the scheme? We've had 2 fatalities since the scheme was introduced on the 30 stretches, so we need to be monitoring that as well.
Generally, Kent will monitor all of it's not included in our 20-mile-an-hour specifically, but Kent will look at all, particularly fatals, but he looks at all incidents, and where there are clusters, we will then analyse that as a batch remedial measure. And KCC has a statutory duty to deal with anything like that. So yes, we will certainly be looking at that as KCC, not just within the 20-mile-per-hour scheme. But yeah, that is taken care of.
Okay, any more questions before we move on to the next bit? Okay, thank you very much for that.
Okay, just talk about the offer to Sevenoaks walking, wheeling and cycling improvements. So originally this was within Sevenoaks District Council's local cycling walking infrastructure plan as Route 1. And KCC was asked to look from Oxford to Sevenoaks or Sevenoaks at Battenball Junction to Oxford Central. And Sevenoaks District Council did a consultation. Was undertaken with KCC quite a while ago now, and I'll just put all the consultation material that was undertaken there. So there was lots of work that took place, and there was 2 drop-in sessions on the 17th of June and the 7th of July. I didn't intend to go through all of that because that's a little while ago. I thought I'd focus on the designs, if that's okay.
One question, Jamie, on the design. Why is this section phase 1? Because, for instance, I would have thought looking at the whole route, the blue bit where the dual carriageway is, that's the most dangerous bit for cyclists and so on. I would have made that phase 1 myself. What was the logic that went behind this? Because what is phase 1? It's relatively safer. There's already some cycling route there and things like that.
Yeah, there was debated quite a lot about what trying to build it all in one go would have been quite difficult, mainly financially, because this is not a cheap scheme, and the consultation didn't give much support for there was certainly more contentious elements on the dual carriageway element, because we would have needed to take out the inside lane to apply it as a cycle lane. So that would have reduced some capacity, and we did some modelling up to Sainsbury's roundabout, and that definitely has some issues to resolve. And also the local HC member is not that supportive of the northern end of this route. So we need to do quite a bit of work to understand, following phase 1, whether there's a route 8 in the LC WIP or this continues. But at present, we're focusing on the southern end because that's an area where we felt we could encourage more from Sainsbury's into the town, get that underway, and then deal with further implications of the dual carriageway.
Yeah.
So this phase 1 is between Vestry Road, which is just north of Sainsbury's and the industrial estate there, heads through Crompton's Road, and then stops at Battenball Road, joining up with the existing cycle facilities at Battenball. It doesn't take into account Battenball Junction. I know there's lots of concerns about Battenball Junction and what's going to happen with that in the future. That was probably a task too difficult for this scheme because that relies on others having the development funding. And I know that's still concerns quite a few people on what's going to happen at Battenball Junction. So I don't know how easy that is to see, but Vestry Road is just to the top left. What we're intending to do is provide a segregated footway cycleway. So the footway is in grey, cycleway is a contraflow, so going in either direction, 3 metres wide generally. So we've got plenty of verge that we can convert to segregated. It then crosses the industrial estate junction, and then if you move to the bottom plans, it then goes on to the A225 Oxford Road, and we're putting a zebra crossing. What we do here is take out, it's quite a wide road there, and there's got the central ghost hatching, so we're going to remove all the central ghost hatching and make that the vehicle lane. And then where the cars drive now, we'll make that a cycle lane. So you don't lose any capacity, but it's just making using the whole of the highway And there are some pinch points just to the right of Sainsbury's at Junction. That's very narrow there, but the road, the back of the footway falls away, so we're a bit stuck on some of the areas. And then heading towards Crompton's Road. Sorry, I put an apostrophe on Crompton's. It's not apostrophe. Once we get to Crompton's Road, we're going to go down Crompton's Road, and literally that's just going to be a signing and road markings, 20 miles per hour, no physical measures, and till right at the bottom where the industrial estate then meets up with the A225 again.
Jamie, does that now have bikes painted on the carriageway?
It does.
Good.
Yeah, it doesn't show, but those squiggles are cyclists.
There's that.
Yeah. So that's just going through Crompton's Road. We're not taking out any parking, so I think that's fairly straightforward. And then when we get to the end of Crompton's Road, we've joining up. There's a path just to the right, so up here. Rather than go back on the road, we thought we'd come through here, widen that path out, which means we don't need to do anything on the A225, which is great because we know that's getting close to the Battenball Junction, and we certainly wouldn't want to touch any capacity on those lanes there. So by taking it down that lane with footway, we'll join up to the existing footway, just make it wider, and then cross Battenball Road.
Sorry, Jamie,
that's where
before
it
you
is.
get to the next step, this council has been trying for a long time to get access agreed with KCC to put some steps down from that footpath that runs along above the embankment to the Battenball Centre car park. So on your top drawing,
Yeah,
the right hand end, that's running alongside the fence that to the car park for Battenball
Oh, okay.
Centre. And at the time, we spent a lot of money putting accessibility ramps onto the platform, railway platform there to allow access from that side. But we tried at the time to get steps down that bank. We weren't able to unlock that at KCC. If there's any way of opening a conversation about how we could get steps from that expanded footpath down into the centre car park.
okay, well, perhaps we can take that offline.
Yeah.
And yeah, we can do have a chat on that. So just showing the programme, we're fortunate enough that we've got the funding for this scheme. It is a lot of money, it's £1 million. We haven't got estimates from the contractor yet, but we put in the bid for funding for that from the Department of Transport. We did a value for money exercise, and it came in quite good actually, which is really helpful. And we're probably not going to be constructing until maybe early 2027. We've got a few things to go through first. And that's my presentation.
Thank you very much. Has anyone got any questions on this one? Yes, go ahead.
The light, you know, the bit by the, it's as you come south towards the junction and you're intending to go on the path. The lighting around there's not great.
Yeah, I don't think we've got any lighting improvements, but I will take that away and see. So you literally around here.
Yeah, so I'm all for keeping off the path. In fact,
Yeah.
sometimes I do that myself, but I do know that if you've got a person coming to you in car, and I know one or
Right.
two people don't switch the lights on and that sort of thing, so
Okay,
you actually, yeah.
we'll have a look at that.
It is dark there.
Mm.
Quite right, yes.
This isn't related to this particular section, it's more the existing cycle lane that we have on Bradbourne Vale Road at the moment. Quite often I see potential for hazard for cyclists. I mean, even this evening there was a couple of young children on their bikes using the cycle route. And because the cars are parked high in front of the cycle route, you have to be really alert as a driver to make sure that when you're turning, first of all, turning out of the turnings onto the Bradbourne Vale Road,
Right.
to make sure that you can see, first of all, that the cyclists But also, when I was turning in here, there's a little kid just racing along, you know, and I was being, I had to literally physically bend my head to make sure that he was well out of the way. I'm so sorry. So I see a potential for some danger there, and I also wondered, coming out of those roads onto that cycle lane, whether there should be more clarity about what you should do there, whether, or there should maybe be a zebra crossing so that the cyclists stop, or some, it just feels a potential for danger, but I've done it quite a few times now.
Well, thank you for highlighting that. It wasn't picked up on, we have road safety audits
Yeah,
during the design and then after, so experience what's actually happening. We may do stage 4, which is 12 or 18 months after completion, so that must be around now actually. But I'll take that away. I'm not sure there's a
Could I have a
huge
voice for that?
Yes, I would as
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
absolutely, I
Thank
think
you.
it needs to be relooked at,
Okay.
What, Bradbourne Vale Road?
yeah, this way.
It would help if mothers weren't letting their children play, use it as a playground, which it was when we came in. They weren't cycling from A to B, they were playing there,
Yeah.
right by the entrance to
the
the.
visual isn't good
council
because
office.
of the cars that are parked, and
Yeah.
also sometimes during rush hour, when you, what is the name of that road that comes down? Is that Bradbourne Road? The one that comes down that runs parallel with St John?
There's two, St John's Road and Bradbourne.
Yes, so it's Bradbourne Road, if you come out onto the main road,
Yeah.
there's lots of children obviously walking across there, but it's if there was some cyclists racing down there, who has, I mean, clearly they have the right of way, but I can see potential hazard, because there's no clear instruction to the vehicle coming there, what should they should do, it should be stopped, there should be a complete stop sign there, and there isn't, is there?
No, but I mean, drivers do have to take care, and you're
Yeah.
right, when I came in through here, you just have to look out.
Yes,
But I will take that away.
yeah, thank you.
I think that would be good if you could. A quick question?
Back on the proposed route, crossing points, I think there's a formal crossing point introduced that we glossed over a bit at Crampton's Road, is that right, going over Lidl, is that still in the plan?
The.
Is that a controlled crossing from, on the,
There,
so
That one there near Sainsbury's.
there are two, I think.
yeah, no, we're not doing the other one by, because we're taking the. I'm just going, yeah, because we're going down Crampton's.
Yeah, so what's
Um,
that shown on the highway there? Just to the east. of-
This one here.
Yes, yeah, so the junction.
Yeah, so that's been improved. That's a straight over.
What, sorry, is it a controlled crossing?
No, it's not.
An
No.
informal crossing.
Sorry, I'm not quite sure on that.
That's by Godfrey's, isn't it?
It says proposed Toucan crossing.
That's, yeah, thank you. Does it say it's on the drawing?
We'll just
Yeah.
have a zoom in.
I think that'd be just so valuable in that location, because, the supermarket on the bottom side of that drawing is so isolated. The only way to get in there safely really is by car.
I'll come back to you on that. But,
Thank you.
I can't quite
So
see whether.
this bit here points here. I don't know if you can see
Yeah,
what I'm
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And that's where it says proposed Toucan crossing to link proposed cycle route with existing shared pedestrian cycleway to the west.
okay.
I'll check on that because I didn't think it was a toucan there, but I'll check.
And then the other one by Sainsbury's was a zebra, was it?
No, that was a toucan crossing.
Might be
Probably-
weird because I'm.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, yeah, it'd be good to have confirmation on those if.
So the other,
possible.
the one by Sainsbury's is it's actually a parallel crossing, but it's like a toucan crossing where you've got the zebra
Yeah.
and the cycle facility.
Okay,
But I'll come back to you on that.
but it's good that we can be finding ways for pedestrians and cyclists to move better around all of that area, not just on the one side road. Good, thank you.
Right.
Well, just to say, I think all of this has been brilliant, and yeah, generally I use these most days, and they're really good. The next phase, I think, is to make sure they all join up. But you know, at that side, it's a major step forward.
The only difficulty with is going to be that
I know.
whole roundabout, and that's got no facilities
Right.
at the moment.
No,
what it
but
was.
hopefully in the future, I
So
mean,
much better.
you know. Anyway, thank you very much indeed for your time and your presentation. And if anyone has any questions, we can go back or divert them through Georgie. If you think of something after tonight, divert them through Georgie and
Yeah.
be in touch. And if you come back on those points, that's fabulous.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right, let's move on. We've got quite a large agenda tonight. Okay, let's whiz through to apologies for absence. Thank you. Request for dispensation? Request for dispensation? Thank you.
Yes,
Declarations of
16.
declarations of interest, is that what you,
Oh, yes, yeah,
declarations of interest, yeah?
yes, I think, we might have that.
Yeah, we all there on that one that we know.
Leave the room or?
No, it won't be necessary. Well, I don't think so. Item 4 minutes. To receive and agree the minutes from the Planning and Environment Committee held on the 27th of April, that's pages 7 to 19. Any comments or debate on any of those? Can we vote to agree them then, please? All in favour? Thank you. On to item 5. I'm going to adjourn the meeting and ask our speaker, Mr. Etherington. Welcome. I'll adjourn the meeting and ask you to speak, address us. You could, well, standing up is good because we can see you.
I'm standing at the front, I'm not scared.
Yeah.
No, I did feel very warm when I came in and now I feel even hotter.
So, I don't know how long you want to speak.
I'll try and keep it very brief. I don't want to waste
Thank
too
you.
much of your time.
Okay.
I'll try to practice 3 minutes, but if I go over a little bit, I'll.
It's all right, I won't throw my pen at you.
Thank you, appreciate it. You are aware of what we're talking about, everyone's.
Lower Springwood.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, and thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Matthew Etherington, and I live at Midhurst, just off Oak Lane, with my family, Joanne, my wife, and Charlotte, and care of my daughters. Sorry, I had a little rejig and I lost my track. Our home, which includes 2 parcels of ancient woodland, join the parcel of land being discussed tonight. The current owners, the Williams family, asked whether we'd like to purchase the woodland at the end of 2025 after the original purchase of the big plot on the far side. I wanted to provide some factual context regarding the remaining parcel of woodland, and we believe it would be viewed differently from the main Long Spring acquisition completed in 2024. Firstly, I wanted to clear that we fully understand and support the significant community value of the main Long Spring wood area that was successfully crowdfunded and acquired last year. The woodland has established links to existing public right of ways and provides a very clear recreational and environmental benefits to the wider community, which is wonderful. However, the smaller remaining parcel currently under discussion is materially different. The correspondence from the Sevenoaks District Council in 2023 recognised the distinction relating to the landlocked parcel and acknowledged the lack of public access to it. Importantly, nothing material has changed since that time. The parcel has no direct road access, and as far as we are aware, no established public right of way. This is effectively landlocked. The only existing access rights are private rights across my land, benefiting the neighbouring landowners. And we understand we are the only adjoining owners with legal access to the parcel. In addition, the land sits between 2 existing private parcels associated with my property, Midhurst, and forms part of a wider area of privately managed ancient woodland. A bit of it is part of ours. Our intention is to simply preserve, steward, and keep sensitive maintenance of the woodland in accordance with its ancient woodland status. And we already manage the adjoining woodland areas under our ownership today. Given the location and configuration of the parcel, we also wish to ensure the quiet enjoyment, privacy, and appropriate management of the surrounding private landholdings. In practical terms, the wider community use would prevent significant challenges for me, both from an access and safety perspective. Oak Lane in this location is narrow, unpaved, outside 30 mile per hour zone, without street lighting, and is already constrained. We therefore respectfully suggest that this parcel should continue to be viewed consistently with the earlier assessment, namely as a small, inaccessible, private and landlocked parcel that is fundamentally different in character and community utility from the main Long Spring wood acquisition. Thank you very much for your time, and I'm quite open, so if anyone would like to ask me questions, if that's appropriate, I'm more than willing to chat about it.
Could you just perhaps, are you on that map?
If I quickly look, I'm sure I am.
Oh, hang on,
Yes.
I can update them up, so I've got two different maps.
The first one actually would be helpful, George, because I think that would be
Yeah.
very clear as to the status of where we are. So this is Midhurst, my home with the family.
Okay,
This parcel of woodland, well, that's my main garden there. The main, this parcel of woodland here is an ancient woodland that I own here. And then I have another part of ancient woodland and paddocks, thank you. This ancient parcel here and then these paddocks here. So at the moment, my ownership is either side of this bit here, which is the bit that we're discussing. Does that make it clear,
Yes.
everybody?
it does make it clear.
Another question. The bit we're talking about you don't own,
I don't know.
may I ask you, would you like to own it? Is that a
So I was just, Chloe, I met Chloe very briefly up the ladder.
Both of you up the ladder?
No, I was trying to get my guttering down. We'd only just purchased the property, and it was a little Democrat local elections, and the daughter and her were out there canvassing, which was fabulous. And we just got discussing it, and my intention is really to just maintain the woodland that we have here in the same ethos, just to keep it together. If it needs coppicing, we coppice it.
the middle bit you don't own?
I don't know. Oh, sorry, the question, I really lost track of my mind. As I mentioned to Chloe as we started the meeting, we didn't realise that this was still, what's the terminology? Thank you very much. We thought when the purchase had happened in 2024, as it's described in the Seven Oaks District Council correspondence, which I have here, that it had been excluded. But then we just had correspondence this evening clarifying on that, saying no, it is still part of it, and they did give the Williams family 8 weeks' notice whether they wanted to check on that element. But Mr. Williams had lung cancer at the time, and I think when they sent it, he was terminally ill and then passed away. And his brother, the other owner, is not present. He lives in West London, so I think they just missed all that correspondence, and that's probably why it never got answered or dealt with at the time. I think he passed away about a month or so after the completion. It wasn't very long. And to answer your question, when the solicitors, we checked with the solicitors, they were like, oh, right, we didn't know this. Up until that point, we were about to exchange contracts, which we are presently trying to do, but we know
On that bit?
yes.
Oh,
Right.
So we're ready to go, and now due to due diligence, and they've sent the information to you guys, we now are at a different state. We're sort of waiting on what you guys to decide, really.
Right,
Did that make it
it
clear?
makes complete sense.
Yeah, you connect your two bits of land that you own.
I'm just not sure what to say, to be honest. Because we're just noting the report, but I think it's very helpful to have that information from you, because we then need to talk about it at a future meeting if we are thinking about going down the route of purchasing it. But I think this is something that we need to hand over to Linda, really.
So we have a year to decide, is that?
No, we do, but we're just
Do
here.
you want
for
to
this-
explain, Chloe? Oh, no, I don't want to explain. I was, this is all new information.
I think it's written in the agenda, isn't it? That it's,
It will be a revision. I
so
mean,
if you read 21, pages 21 to 24. It says we have until the 10th of June to submit the bid, is that right?
So
Sorry?
10th of June.
No, not at the moment, we're
is
just
the
asking questions at the moment before we reconvene.
Okay.
So you receive a notice of intent to dispose, and then you have, I think it's 8 weeks.
We'll talk about that when we come back and reconvene. Were there any more questions of this gentleman before I reconvene the meeting?
You can ask me anything. I really want to be open. You guys feel like you've got an understanding.
I think we understand the
I think
situation
we
now.
just really wanted to understand what it is, because then we have to reconvene the meeting and then we'll debate it or do whatever we have to do. But are there any more questions? I think you've made it really clear and it makes sense. Did you want to ask a question, Councillor Willis?
Yeah, so the field with the cross on, who owns that?
That's St Thomas's School. That's their playing field, and they have right of access across my property for school business only.
Okay, and is that going to impact on anything that we're discussing, or is that just
I
carried
didn't
on?
think so. See, they have rights to just come up our private. There's a private driveway, private driveway there, and then they come over my property and through into the field. And at the moment, they only do that maybe once or twice a year for indoor sports day.
Cricket pitch, isn't it?
And yeah, it's about the size of a cricket pitch. And they have been doing forest school. I haven't seen them this year, so I don't know if they're continuing to do that.
Okay, all right, so that's it. Okay, so I think, any more questions? I think we're quite clear. Thank you so much for coming.
Does anyone know that particular stretch of road or are familiar with it?
Yes.
Because you're our ward councillor, aren't you? Yeah.
We all know the road.
Yeah,
Just to describe it, just so you don't waste any time, that stretch on Oak Lane is mounded and then it's barbed wired all the way along and there's no actual access off Oak Lane, which is another important point, and it's very, very overgrown at the moment. So if you haven't seen it or visualised it, I just bring that to your attention.
okay,
But there could be,
okay,
if someone owned it,
right.
who wants to make an
If
extra.
there's no further questions, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, no, thank you. I think it was very, very helpful. Okay, let's read the meeting and come back. Councillor Shay, did you want to say something on this?
I can do, I mean, as you say, yeah, we have the report in front of us for noting, because it is something that's come up relatively recently.
Yeah.
And I think, when we're all reading it, we're hearing this new information and understanding the situation better. I think there's a little bit of time needed to kind of bring all of that knowledge together and explore it before it comes back to committee with any recommendation. At the moment, it's about understanding that this parcel of land is available because it's an asset of community value that we have registered. The process for creating that hiatus on transactions has been triggered. Doesn't mean we have to necessarily pursue it, but it gives us that breathing time, if you like, to decide if it's something we want to pursue. And that's where we're at. It's unfortunate that perhaps the transaction has got to quite as advanced as it is. But that's why it's on the agenda for here tonight, and why it's only for noting rather than any decision at this point.
Yeah, we're not making a decision at the
Can we
moment.
just be clear on the dates though?
Yes,
The
I'm gonna
target
stick
dates,
to
which I think Georgie was going to.
Jordan, just going to explain to us.
Yeah, so there's one part in the report where I noted that the legislation for community assets has been updated. I received clarification from the district council that the actual sort of start date for that to apply hasn't, I think it needs a commencement or so hasn't been extended to a year, it's just the usual 6 months that the moratorium is extended by. So it's the two dates that are provided in the agenda.
And just so that, sorry, Paul.
Yeah, so go ahead.
Sorry, Chair. Could I just understand exactly what actions we have taken so far? Have we registered any interest or?
So we have a pre-existing minute number. So the two, the asset of community value was done under the one nomination for both parcels of land. And you can see the top bit, which is the private residential land, had been removed from the nomination due to those being considered ancillary to residential use. So we have submitted the intent to bid as per the previous minute number, which I think was from 2023, and I put that in the report, as well as the Green Community Investment Plan. But that only triggers the moratorium. It doesn't mean that the town council has to submit anything. It just gives the time for that to be considered.
Yeah.
Which ends on the 10th of June.
No, that's the initial moratorium, so it has been extended. And the new
29th of
date,
October.
yes, yeah.
So we have to make a decision by the 29th.
Yes, we've got
whether
some
we wish
time.
to pursue this
Yes.
as,
Yes,
so will this come back on the
this will
agenda?
come back. We're just noting this, so we received a copy and formal notification of this. And to receive notice here, and we've got the accompanying background, so that's what we're here to do tonight. We're not here to make any decisions and to listen to the gentleman as well.
Of course, yeah.
Thank you, Fred. Just as I'm sure our guests might be interested, were we to decide that actually we're comfortable that the land is not going to be developed and it will stay as an ancient woodland and be protected with a different custodian for the town council, what would our options be all the time? Like, could we give notice that we don't want to pursue the sale and release it?
I think it would come back to debate.
Oh, I know that we can't make that decision tonight, but I just think in terms of the process and decisions, because I'm sure that's the,
Are we the only body who decide?
knowing.
Could I just say that it's open now to any community
Yeah,
group,
okay.
and every community group has until then.
So it
Now,
will be
so
6 months.
we can't foreshorten the time, even
Okay.
if we decide tonight or whenever, that we don't, that we're not interested. It's
That's
no
what I was
regular
gonna
community.
understand. Okay, thank you.
If any other organisation who was interested would be bound by the same time frame. So
Yes.
they need to express interest first by the middle of June or early June. So at that point, then everyone would know if anybody was interested other than this council.
You can't unilaterally shorten it.
No.
No, it's
So
not
29th
sure.
of October is the deadline, no matter what we decide
Yes,
to do.
and any decision we make would go back to, would come to full council.
So would we make a decision based on a majority vote at full council?
Yes, it would go to full council to be debated what we wanted to do as a council.
So is it possible that an individual, someone else might wish to purchase this land? Is that a possibility, someone? Or?
Well,
That's after the moratorium.
that's after the moratorium is gone.
Right.
So it's preferential treatment in a way to bid if we want before then. And then if nobody does it. But anyway, we've got all the information that we need and it will come back to us, I think, for proper debate.
Can I suggest that if anybody has any thoughts that they want to put into the mix early on, that they write to Georgie, to Linda, and so we can collate the views around the group before we bring it back, and that will help us just to steer the information that we gather, because the opportunity now, having triggered that process, is for us to go and get valuations and surveys and so on, and that's what the time allows us to do. If anybody wants to put any thoughts into the mix on that,
Let's do it that way.
Those juices flowing in the brain department and.
Okay, we will do it that way. Yeah. Because it's bigger than just us here.
This is the point, isn't it?
It's bigger than just us here. Right, thank you.
Okay.
Moving on to item 6.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appeal submission 1C Wickenden Road, received notice of the submission and following appeal, Wickenden Road 1C, to note the appeal is proceeding under written reps. Therefore, the town council may provide additional comment or amend withdraw previous representation. This must be done by 20th of May. That's very soon. 19th of January, we recommended refusal because the use of grey tiles will be after keeping the half of the terrace containing 1C. Red tiles are identified in the local residential character area assessment as a unifying feature, therefore using grey for this house would harm the street scene. Full documentation may be accessed through the district council's appeals portal and the link is shown there. Do we wish to amend our comments? Who looked at this one?
This was Tony's,
I think, was it Tony's?
Tony felt quite strongly, didn't he?
He's got
about
quite
the-
strong views. I don't think we need to certainly withdraw them, but do we want to add anything? Or probably he was quite thorough, I suspect. I think we're probably okay. Right, moving on. Appeal decisions. Pages 27, 29. To receive notice on the decisions on the following grounds. So we had 14 Silk Mills closed. Appeal dismissed and planning permission refused by the planning inspector on the 28th of April. And we had another one, land adjacent to 95-107 Bourne Road, appeal dismissed. Planning permission refused by the planning inspector on the 6th of May. And the third one, Green Sands Oak Lane, appeal dismissed and planning permission refused by the planning inspector on the 8th of May.
Can I just say something on that one, please?
Yeah, please go ahead.
So that, you might remember, went to the MC and then.
Yes.
The appeals just been dismissed. I just wanted, I'm probably going to say the same thing, but the residents were delighted with the outcome and also that the inspector has commented that the reason of dismissal is because of the character, it's going to affect the character and appearance of the area and also the amenities of their neighbouring properties, and they were the residents that were really complaining. And they and Chloe did a lot of work, gained a lot of evidence to submit to both the inspector and also DMC, so I think it was a really good result.
It's a good outcome that actually they were listened to and it was worthwhile doing it, and we were behind them as well. Yes.
But the only thing I wanted to share from it, because I thought it was quite interesting for all of us, that what it showed us, this dismissal of this appeal, was that with this, the inspector sort of cited that essentially good design was not, like bad design doesn't outweigh the tilted balance.
Yes,
that's
that's really
actually, because the fact that, you know, there's a presumption of development doesn't mean that we can just build anything. And actually, one of the things they suggested was, I'll read it to you, which said that there was no compelling evidence to suggest that the appeal scheme is the sole means to optimise the use of the site. So, you know, they were, what they're asking for is for something more sympathetic and a better design than the character area on forwards.
Which is good.
Yeah,
It
it's
is
really
very
good,
good.
because no one against the area, the site being developed, it's just the proposal was.
Important
was
principle, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, it
That
is
you
actually.
can't just whack stuff up. When you need
Because you only get to do it once, so
Yeah,
so
so
design is more well done. It's a win for good design.
That's really
Yeah,
well
very
done.
done.
Excellent.
Can I just say on the other two appeal
Yeah.
that were dismissed, there are similar issues at play. One was in your ward, I think, wasn't it? Peter, the slice between the railway line and the houses that run down at the bottom of Bradbourne
Yes,
Road.
yeah.
And that's the dismissal on Bradbourne Road. Which we had similar concern about design as well as biodiversity. And the other one, Football's Close, the design was, the argument was that it was providing housing that was needed, but it was
Yes.
over densification of that site and problems of design in that as well. So I think it's something we can really, we can use.
We can use because precedent has been set that way now,
Yeah.
so it's something that we can refer to, so it's really, it's good in many ways, it's good. Right, let's move on, item 8, Development Management Committee, Land Rear of 26 St James Road. Receive notice of below application is due to be discussed by the Seven Oaks District Council's Management Development Committee on 21st of May. This was previously allocated to Councillor Dixon, that's the Land Rear of 26 St James. So on the 6th of May and subsequently on amended versions, 18th July, 22nd of September, 6th October, 22nd December, 2025 and 2nd of March this year, Seven Oaks Town recommended refusal on the grounds that the proposed development would be cramped and overdeveloped, particularly at 3 stories. Full documentation can be accessed through the District Council's planning portal, and there is a link there. To nominate a St John's Ward councillor to attend the meeting if deemed appropriate, Councillor Dixon.
Yeah, this one I think I looked at a couple of times.
Yes, would you like to attend?
I would
Shall
love
we
to
look at
attend,
it?
but I'm away. That's the first I've heard of this. I'm away on Thursday.
Do we want to nominate anybody else? Does anybody else want to go?
It's this Thursday, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah, it's a bit like the one at the bottom of Bradbourne Road. It's like a shoebox stuck somewhere in. It seems rather, not
Okay.
great on design.
so nobody wishes to go? You,
Would we have, I assume a district councillor is sent to the DMC?
Yes, it's been called
yeah,
in.
it's been called.
It's been called in, I think, by Councillor Skinner, who won't be able to speak to us either unless he speaks online. Perhaps that's a request we can make of him.
Maybe,
Do we have any neighbours speaking? Do we know if there's anybody wish to speak on this?
doesn't, well, I don't know, do we know? Do we know? We don't know. We won't know unless we contact the district council and ask if anyone's registered to speak. Certainly we're there anyway, so
Yeah, we can't.
no, exactly. So maybe councillor Skinner can buy a link. We can
I'll just check my phone.
ask him and. Yes,
I'm very happy to go along and read somebody's comments. If somebody else had something they wanted to be said, bearing in mind, I don't know the history of the.
how about that, councillor
Application.
Skinner, Dixon, sorry?
Yeah, that would be fine. I don't have a lot more to say than was put in the,
No, but you
in
have to go to
comments
the
on the
DMC and say it.
but no, well, I can't do that.
No,
Yeah.
but you, if
Rose offering.
you can write something or,
Right,
okay?
okay.
So we'll nominate you to go. Thank you very much, and you'll do the
You
speech.
read a speaking brief.
Yes, you will.
basically.
Okay, thank you very much. We will do that. Moving on, Development Management Committee, Cheney's 84 Oak Hill Road. To receive notice that this application is going to the Development Management Committee on the 21st of May. On the 2nd of February 2026 and an amended version on 30th March this year, said notes Town Council recommended approval, provided Conservation Officer was satisfied. Full documentation can be accessed through the District Council's planning portal via the following link. To nominate a Kippington Ward councillor to attend the meeting if deemed appropriate. I don't think it's necessary, it's just a formality. So I don't think we need to nominate anybody to attend. Item 10, street naming and numbering, notification of new addresses, pages 51 to 61, to receive notice of new addresses for 3 new dwellings being converted at Sevenoaks Business Centre, 15 Limetree Walk, which have been renamed 15, 15A and 15B, Limetree Walk. And that's on the pages 51 to 53. To receive notice of new addresses allocated to the remaining units due to be delivered on the side of 6 to 10B Victoria Road, which have been renamed 10A Victoria Road and flats 1 to 5, 10B Victoria Road. So those are on pages 54 to 61, so we note those. Decision notices on planning applications by us, pages 63 to 64. We've got a few changes. Don't think there's anything mega. Refusal and granted, but I'd rather we did go stronger. The Rolls is there.
That's a difference in all that thing.
Yeah. Is it okay? Can't wait, that was town, we recommended refusal and we've got to big conditions, so that's not too bad.
I think we were disappointed about 1 Hollybush Lane.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
disappointing,
yeah.
but absolutely. Okay, let's move on. Plans commented on under Chair's actions, received no comments made on planning applications considered under Chair's actions submitted to Sevenoaks District Council in order to meet the statutory response deadlines where they could not be met by a committee, so that's 65 to 66. There was 3 there, or was it 4? 4 in the end. Okay, thank you. Let's move on to our planning applications. West Heath School, Councillor Daniel, you're the first one.
Yeah. So this is one that we have seen before. It's been revalidated. It's for the installation of main gates to driveway entrance and the installation of a footpath for security reasons. As I say, it's a revalidation of the previous application. We've seen from the this before. The gates are well set back from the road, in keeping with the character of the area. So my recommendation is approval.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Thank you. Any debate? Can we vote, please? All in favour? Thank you. Moving on, Councillor Willis, 99 to 101 High Street.
So the proposal seeks to change the land use of the property from being a finance office to kind of food and drink, fast food type establishment. The application is on a grade 2 listed building. I think it dates back to about 1500 or something. And it does form part of the historic frontage of the high street at that point. So what I've written is whilst I'm broadly sympathetic to the need of retaining occupied buildings on the high street and increased footfall, I am concerned about this particular development in the conservation area. There has been an exchange with the planning officer of our Arroyo, and they point to the last sentence I've highlighted is, as this is a listed building, these matters above need to be sorted out before it can be permitted. So I've suggested refusal unless the conservation and planning officers are satisfied.
Okay, do we have a seconder? Thank
I'm
you.
gonna second it, but I've got some questions and thoughts.
Okay, go ahead.
Is this the one that we looked at a while ago? I think we've
Yeah.
already seen something for this for a creperie.
We've seen it twice before.
And I thought we recommended approval
We
for
did.
the application. So was that for the same? Is this a change of use application, the previous one signage or?
Could I just sort of add a little bit, clarify this?
Thank
I first had this is the old Milliston Partners, which is on the corner, used to be Coffee Cool. And now it's kind of Sopranos is next to it, and this is Sopranos trying to kind of extend. It goes Sopranos, little kind of narrow alleyway, and then you know the old Milliston Partners building. The issue is, it's a bit of a poor application, isn't it? They just don't seem to be giving it the kind of gravitas and all the documents that it demands. So I can imagine the conservation officer is not very happy with a rather slipshod approach.
Yeah, and I
But
agree
in
on that.
principle, we're happy to see it, because at the moment it's just a vacant. But I think it needs to be done sensitively. Does that clarify?
No.
Do you want to have it up on the screen?
No, so I think I'm just trying to understand the history, because if we saw a listed building consent which has gone through
Yeah.
for works inside. And there was something we saw that had signage as well a while ago,
Yeah.
so I'm just trying to understand what it is, what this application is that
Oh.
hasn't been captured by previous application.
Councillor Shay, this, the signage was for a property above
No.
Sopranos, wasn't it?
No, that's a different application.
Oh,
I know
okay.
the one you mean, but
Okay.
that's a different one, so I'm just trying to
Same thing, but
understand if
area.
it's the same.
Bit confusing.
I'm sorry, I should have looked at it sooner.
It's talking about a change of use. This is an internal alteration with change of use to class E.
I thought we agreed that.
That's what it's actually saying to us.
So
Change
this
of
is
use.
change of use, but previously we've seen one for alterations and one for signage.
This one's internal alteration with change
With
of
change
use,
of use to class.
but that's internal, not external.
So
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? The venting across the,
Yeah.
But there's a consent given already for the venting.
but not the
And
change of
for-
use.
Okay, so it's the same again, but with change of use included.
Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah.
Because they would need to have change of use if it's not currently that.
Well, they didn't put that into that originally.
They might not have known they needed it.
That's the signage.
at 0114.
Yeah, because this is the same application that was originally the 8th of January,
Okay,
which was signage and then.
and what did we say to that?
If that's a previous one, doesn't amend it. So your recommendation on this one, councillor Willis, is refusal
Well-
unless the conservation and planning officers are satisfied.
Yeah, which they currently don't appear to be, so.
Okay, so I think that's probably fair, go refusal, because you've also said that the information is,
Yeah, but we approved it.
but this is a change of use. From what I'm seeing here.
Sorry, I should have done a bit more homework on this.
Well, I mean, word it how you want, but either way, conservation and planning officers have got.
Yeah, well, that is fair.
They're the people
Yes,
that
they,
know about a 15th century
Yeah, no,
building
you're right.
being
Yes.
turned into,
Well, we said approval subject to the conservation, and then the conservation officer's not happy.
yes, so.
okay, so I think yes, exactly, let's err on the side of caution, I think. Councillor Shay, you're looking confused,
Well, only that the previous application was granted.
and that was that for a change of
It
use.
was for, I think, all the same content. All the same words, but without
Granted by
change of
us.
use.
Okay,
Granted
so
by
now
district council.
So it's the change of use. This is what we've got in front of us now by the looking at it, internal alteration with change of use. And it's a full planning application for change of use. So that's what we're looking at, is it not?
Yes, often when a planning application, a full planning application is submitted, if at the same time the listed building consent is submitted, those two planning applications, the reference numbers will be one different. So they must have been submitted at the same time.
They would have to
And
have
it was,
listed building
so
consent,
it looks like the full version must have taken longer to be validated.
possibly. Yeah, because they might have said, well, you need a change of use, and now we've got it. It, yeah, it's complicated, because sometimes people put applications in without knowing they need all the bits and pieces, so, and it is complicated, change of use, full planning, and a list of building consent, yeah. It's a bit difficult. Okay, so let's come back to this one before we get too distracted. This one is the change of use, and we have the recommendation, refusal unless conservation and planning officers are satisfied. We've got a seconder. Any further debate?
So change of use is not, as an application, is not. If we're objecting to change of use, we're objecting it being used as a cafe, not. Surely if we're objecting to the appearance of the building. If we're objecting to change of use, we're objecting it to be used as a cafe.
Yeah, I don't object to it.
Whereas what we're objecting to is the fact that there might be a kitchen extract that might go outside that's not going to look very nice, I think, from reading this.
We can make an observation and we can either go approval providing that.
But I don't think we should be rejecting it on the basis of change of use, because we're agreeing that it should be used as a cafe. Are we not? Because if we're rejecting the change of use, then we're saying it shouldn't be used as a capital.
Councillor Willis has made that recommendation unless those officers are
And
satisfied,
we're
so.
now discussing it.
So, yes, so, but we have a recommendation to vote on. If you don't want to vote on it, we,
That's why we're debating.
No, no, but councillor Daniel is just trying to clarify
Yes.
what exactly we're voting on. You know, in principle, do we object to it being changing its use? Isn't that?
We're not objecting to talking about a principle, we're talking about a specific planning application that has specific details in it.
But the application that we're voting on is a change of use application.
and the details that they've got,
The details matter.
the details do matter. And it's because of the conservation officer.
Well, I'm really confused because their design and access statement talks about a change of use, internal alterations and signage.
Well, it's
So
probably got
the-
all of it.
Yes, but the description is only for part of it, so it makes it very unclear of what we're actually passing.
Their design and access statement would be everything because they'd only want to pay for one thing.
Okay, so
And then they
keep
put
throwing
it
at
all
that.
in and they probably put it in 3 times because you need three things. But I think
Oh,
the
yes,
information that we've got on the duct,
But if we've approved those, how can we now not approve this? If we've approved the signage and the.
Signage
I
is
don't remember those
different.
other ones. We're now rejecting a change of use.
Well,
I'm just
we're
confused, but
rejecting
we're-
something that says change of use with totally inadequate, potentially air conditioning and extraction.
But it's
So
the,
we don't want change of use under those conditions. I would
that's,
see it.
that is more or less it, yes, because what they provide.
The change of use, we think is fine.
You could put
And the
in an
details-
informative,
The details are, have to be worked out if the.
you could put that as an informative, would that would potentially satisfy. In principle, no objection to change of use, but the details need to be, whatever you just said. The details need to be clarified and by whatever ducting it is.
But those details already have permission, and you're right, what Georgie says is right, that there are 2 applications that have gone in at the same time, the
Yeah.
listed building consent and the full consent, they've gone in at the same time. And the listed building consent dealing with the ducting in that listed building has already gone through. And what we're looking at now is the full application that sits above it with the change of use wrapped up in it, but the issue around conservation has already been dealt with in the listed building consent and granted.
and this is no comment from the environmental health officer about the duct. So I would like to counter the
We
recommendation.
could vote on that, but it looks like it probably wouldn't vote out, so potentially approval providing,
That's what I would.
approval providing.
It's up to councillor Willis, isn't it, if he wants them to vote on.
I mean, it's semantics. Either way, the conservation planning officer has got to deal with this
Yeah.
situation. I am not qualified to pass
No,
on
well,
a
none of us
bill
are, and I
that's in
don't
the
want to
15th century.
but
And
let's
none of
not
us are.
spend any more time on this, let's go for the other way around.
Listed building consent, they've already commented on that.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, listed building is separate anyway, but yes, you're right, then it should be. But sometimes you get approval of one and not of the other, that does happen. However, in this particular case, if that's gone through, I suggest we do it the other way, approval providing. Happy to second that again?
Well, hang on, just wait to see what councillor Willis wants.
He said he's just, he's happy either way,
Just playing with words.
he's just playing with words, he's
Yeah.
just said happy, so the seconder was councillor Shay, again, right, okay, let's.
And the point is,
It's a very, it's an iconic part of the.
yes, and these guys have
It's not
said it's
really
not.
paying both, with one's an approval and one's not. So.
Okay, let's just pull it back. Okay, let's,
But you're right, the ultimate decision lays with the conservation officer.
That's all it means. So.
the
we have a phrase
conservation,
that
so
says
it's the
please
same
pass it on.
as providing, approval providing, all of that, just not refusal unless, so it's approval providing. Okay, let's vote.
That's all right with you. Are you all right?
Yes.
Yes. All in favour, please, of that recommendation? Anyone against? Abstain? 1, thank you. Right, let's move on. 3 Camden Road. This was proposed ground floor room extension with roof lights and alterations to fenestration. It's a single story room extension. There's no windows in the flank, the doors are looking down the garden. I don't see any problems at all with this and I recommend approval. Any debate? Can we vote please then, all in favour? Thank you, carried. Is next, probably.
Yes, 69 Oakville Road, this is a single-storey road extension to replace an existing conservatory. The demolition of inserts and creation of an outbuilding, air source heat pump, ice bath and a patio. This is a detached 6-bedroom house. The rear extension replaces a conservatory and extends to the side. So it doesn't, to extend the living space with a new gym facility with direct access to the garden. The existing garden room is to be replaced with a slightly bigger, more modern style. The sauna and ice bath will be within the ground floor extension. Previous planning consent was granted for a similar scheme, but that's now lapsed. No impact on trees, good screening, privacy from neighbouring properties. And actually I meant to say that the extension doesn't come out much further than the existing conservatory, it sort of squares it off. So the recommendation is approval.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Thank you. Any debate? Can we vote please, all in favour? Thank you. Carried. 70 High Street, councillor Granville.
Oh, right, actually, I've written quite a lot about it, but it's.
We've helped, no, we've in people like the High Street,
Okay,
building
this
is.
is fantastic, that's very nice.
yeah.
Grade 2 listed building with the wooden, columns outside.
It's down from Waitrose, where the
Yes,
crossing,
it's just before.
please go over the zebra crossing, it's directly in front of
Did
you.
you say fantastic? Fantastic, yeah, fantastic, right, okay.
You wouldn't know it was a coffee shop unless you.
No.
It's a very nice
It's
office.
got a bit of.
Used to be insurance.
Banner, yeah, anyway, it's, the application's for, a 9-limit sign, double-sided projecting sign to the front elevation. And the conservation officer is quite happy with this, and because it's non-illuminated and the conservation officer says full details and material specification will be provided, which we haven't seen in this application, actually, that's interesting. It's difficult to actually dig the size out and everything. And no further conservation related details required by condition. And so I recommend approval.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Thank you. Any debate? Can we vote please, all in favour? Thank you. Ordinance goes forward, councillor Wilkinson.
Yeah, the volleyball junior school, which you know is becoming a SEND school, I think called Laurel House. The proposal is to enclose an existing external stair with sheet cladding and with new fenestration. And you can see a picture of this here, because this is a retrospective planning application. They've already encased this staircase in the sheeting that you can see. And the design and heritage statement, one of the reasons it says that this should be allowed is it can't be seen from the main road. But I've been there and neighbours have been there, and you can see it from the main road, which is Bradford Park Road, not as erroneously called as the design and heritage statement, Bradbourne Road. Overall, actually, this design statement is very poorly written with various factual and grammatical errors. So, as a pedant, I don't like it. But the building is locally listed, Sir Thomas Jackson, built in 1874. And although probably the external staircase was not very pretty beforehand, and they are required to enclose it by legislation, I think they could have made a much better job of it. And I think the visual impact of this industrial looking staircase is very poor. So my recommendation was that we should recommend refusal on the ground that it's in contravention of STMP policy C4, requiring that planning applications be of a high quality. I don't think this is high quality, namely because the addition detracts from the visual appeal of a locally listed building.
Fair enough. Do we have a seconder? Thank you. Any debate? Yes?
Has the fire officer approved that? Because it depends on the
That's a very
material,
good
sure.
point.
I can't remember on that. It's not a pointed issue as far as it came up, and that's not the ground on which I'm. I have my objections. It might be an additional thing if it were so, but I'd have to check the what was written in the application.
Yeah, because depending on the nature of the cladding, I mean,
Hmm.
you might be in serious trouble.
Is that worth adding something additional? An informative or something because of the cladding? If the cladding should, well, no, because you're refusing it, aren't you? Not
Yeah, yeah, on different grounds. I guess it would be safer to go back and reread the entirety of the application, just to make sure that that hasn't already been covered off.
It's, you're giving an opinion, we're asked to look at it, what do we think, what is our opinion of that? And that's what we're doing now, what is our opinion of that? And I think you're right, I think it does detract. If you think it's likely to be approved, we could say the district council is minded to approve, can we make sure that the cladding it satisfies any health, fire, whatever requirements?
Would that be covered under building control?
Yes, it is, but that's not part of,
No, so somebody else would have looked into that.
potentially.
The consultees list includes Kent Fire and Rescue Services
Okay,
engineering.
so
They've been consulted, but they
Yeah.
haven't replied.
they haven't replied. Okay, so we just make the comment then that what you've said, refusal because. Any further debate? Can we vote then, please, all in favour? Thank you, anyone against? Good. Oh, this is for Limber, 65A Kiverton. This is a minor amendment, so amendment to whatever it is with ventilation and layout amendments. Right, so the main amendments, I've had a look. It's big changes, I think. Omission of the indoor swimming pool and replace it with a large seating area. Optimization of the basement to accommodate extra engineering equipment in relation to the solar panels, and omission of the garage external staircase. They don't need to put that, and this is to accommodate the budget and requirements of the owner. So I don't see any problems with what they're wanting to do. Recommend approval, providing any large areas of hard landscaping are the suitable water runoff or permeable. You know, so that we don't get flooding if there's a large area. So that's what I think on that one. Any debate?
Sorry, could you repeat what you said about the external, did you say an external staircase?
There is an external garage staircase which is being removed.
Okay.
They're not gonna put that on, they're not having the swimming pool.
Yeah.
And they've got a configuration of the basement for new equipment for the solar panels. So it sounds quite minor, I mean, they're not, I don't think they're minor, but anyway, apparently they are. You never know, it might come back as a full planning, but that's one to watch maybe, because it seems quite a lot. Any further debate? Can we vote, please? All in favour? Thank you. Carried. Councillor Whiteman, Landhouse, Seal, who's gonna do that one? Who wants to do that one? Me, I guess. Okay, this is amendment to a previous application to make alterations to the front gate and wall alteration to fenestration, including window removal and roof light alterations. So Lantau is on the east side of Seawaller Road and is nearly completed rebuild of a previous house. These proposals are late stage minor changes. One first floor ensuite bedroom window is removed. Some window heads are dropped by 100 millimeters. That's not much. And there are minor changes to some of the first floor rear windows looking down the garden. One roof light is split in two, one moved and one added. The porch is modestly remodelled. Front gates are remodelled to match those of the neighbour. None of this, in his view, is problematic. There is no overlooking or other issues. Recommend approval on his behalf from the chair. Any debate? Can we vote then, please? All in favour? Thank you. Councillor Gaspard Liddell, 80 London Road.
Oh, yes, so this is for the installation of two rapid EV chargers that are going to be located on the left-hand side as you drive into Lidl. There will be two chargers that will be charge 4 cars, and it will replace 6 parking bays, so there'll be a net loss of 2 parking bays. And the thing to note is that in order to operate the chargers, it requires a service box
cabin that's about 2 metres high and 2 metres wide and 1 metre deep, and that will be located at the front of the site, next to the, where the little sign is at the moment. So my comments are that the provision of 2 rapid charges for shoppers to use whilst in the store is a welcome addition to the local infrastructure, and I recommend it for approval.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder?
Can I make a comment?
Yes.
Although I'm very keen to have EV chargers, is the location not where the disabled bays are?
No, the disabled bays are closer to the doors, so they are directly opposite the store or here.
Oh, fine.
Can anyone charge their car here, or do you have to be a shopper?
Nobody knows.
No, I just wondered if you don't. That gets some kind of.
Yes, councillor Shay?
2 metres wide by 2 metre high cabinet at the front, is it going to affect visibility for drivers coming in and out of the site?
I don't think so, because it's set. Meters back, so we fall forward.
Okay.
I'm just thinking about its appearance, it's quite industrial.
I love
Space,
that.
there's a lot of art in there.
Okay.
Any more debate? Can we vote then, please? All in favour? Thank you. Carried. Ruthwell, councillor Daniel?
Yes, 80 Oak Hill Road. This is the conversion and extension of the existing garage with associated with internal alterations and new access to that first and second floor rear extension, including internal alterations to the fenestration and roof line, including new door windows and Juliet balconies, hard and soft landscaping. So the existing garage will form a basement with a living room, which can be accessed from the which can also be accessed from the driveway. The first floor is extended to the rear, providing an ensuite and dressing room to the master bedroom, and then the second floor is extended with an increased roof height to accommodate an additional bedroom. The new roof includes the introduction of front dormers and Juliet balconies to the rear. The increased roof height is still a similar height. Currently, it's not that high, the building, compared to the neighbouring properties. So even with the increased roof height, it's similar, if slightly lower than the neighbouring properties. So it shouldn't adversely affect the street scene. Existing materials will be matched. The balconies look down quite a long garden, and then the next house is like a garden and then some. So it shouldn't affect the amenities of the neighbouring properties. There's also quite a lot of screening. Access remains the same. There's a similar application which was approved in 2019. The driveways in Clifton and Oak Hill Road conservation area, but the house isn't. The recommendation is approval.
Thank you. Do you have a seconder? Thank you. Did you propose with them? Oh, thank you. Any debate? Yes.
Only that I think I'd quite just like to add on there. This doesn't look over, I live in 84, so it doesn't look over my garden, but just because there's a Juliet balcony, could we add something, I'll ask councillor then to the approval that providing that the planning officer is satisfied there's no loss of amenity to neighbouring properties.
From the Juliet balcony. Yes, happy with that?
Yes, please,
Okay.
thank you.
And you seconded it, you're happy with that? Yeah, okay. Any further debate? Can we vote then, please, all in favour? Thank you, carried. It's still with you, councillor Daniel.
I'm not 100% sure what this one is. We've had it before. It's an amendment to an existing proposal, which I think I had a really similar thing a couple of weeks ago. It's the amendment to external finishing materials, and I still can't work out what the change is. So because it was an MMA before and now it's an MMA amended. So it's difficult to say what the amendment is, but the original application was for part cladding, and I'm assuming maybe now they're doing full cladding, but there's nothing obvious. So approval provided the planning officer is satisfied the material used are in keeping with the character of the road.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Thank you. Any debate?
Any comment? Well, didn't they say they'd tell us what the differences were when things had been amended?
Yes, so the
Oh, maybe I missed it then.
it's in the agenda papers, but it just says plans are now publicly available to view, so there
Okay.
might have just been one missing.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't see the plan first time I saw it as to what, there was nothing obvious as to what was going to change. So.
Okay, so if there's any further debate, can we vote then please on that? All in favour? Thank you. To Mount Harry Road, this is a loft conversion with a rear dormer. Additional window and roof lights, removal of existing chimney. Okay, so this is the corner of Mount Harry Road and Dartford Road. It is adjacent to, but not in, the Hartsland Conservation Area. There's a locally listed building at the bottom of the garden, roughly. I don't see a problem or an impact on either of those. The dormer is facing down the garden and it's done in a sympathetic way, matches similar dormers in the area, with the design and the materials. There is a new window in the side, however, it's overlooking the road. So I don't think it's got any impact on neighbours at all, or the shops on the other side. So I recommend approval, providing the planning officer is satisfied there's no overlooking or loss of amenity to any neighbours from the dormer or the window in the side flank. And if there is any detriment with the window in the side flank, for it to be obscure blaze condition. Any debate? Can we vote then, please? All in favour? Thank you. Carried. 27 Boswell Road. Councillor Dr. Canning, over here. This is a loft.
Sorry,
Yeah, sure. If you want to do that
Yeah,
one.
would
Thank
mind,
you,
that's
please.
I would. And I've looked at it since, but only this evening, I'm afraid. And I think it's more problematic than it had first appeared. So this is an application which got planning permission last year. So I'm afraid I'm going to actually disagree with Councillor Canning, if that's all right, Chair.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this house is on the corner of Boswell Road at the top of the hill. It's a road of semi-detached houses, all of them rendered in colours of white or cream. This application went through for a significant extension both to the side and into the roof with Juliet balconies last year. It received planning permission and it is under construction. A minor material or non-material amendment was applied for earlier this year, I suspect as part of an enforcement action, to a change of cladding from render to brick slips. And the application before us tonight has a number of comments from neighbours objecting to the changed materials, which are now yellow brick slips with grey roof tiles. So it's now come through as a full planning application. The fundamentals of the bones of the building are the same as the last application, which is what Councillor Canning was responding to, but actually the change in materials are very significant and are not in keeping with the local palette at all. So contrary to Councillor Canning's recommendation, I would like to suggest that we refuse on the basis that the new materials are not consistent with the character area assessment.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Thank you. Any debate?
I've just looked at it and it's actually a semi, isn't it? So,
Yeah,
so the other half, I mean, having a different roof material is very peculiar.
Yeah.
Mm.
Absolutely, and the different materials on the brick
Yeah.
slips.
Yes.
I need to go and have a look at it, and I hesitate about whether to make a recommendation or ask if we would have chair action so I can have a look. But the comments from neighbours is that it's the yellow brick slip, which is absolutely not in the character area assessment, which is quite clear about the brown bricks and brown roof tiling.
what is a brick soup?
It looks like a brick, but it's about that thick, so you mount it like a tile.
Like a brick tile.
Yeah.
So it's a pretend brick.
Yes.
Oh.
Pretend, but
Gives the appearance of, yeah.
It's something about bangs.
brick effect cladding.
Brick effect cladding. Okay, any further debate? Can we vote then, please? All in favour? Any against? Thank you, that's carried. Councillor Clyde, oh, she's not here. Are you going to do that one? Thank you, Councillor.
This is a relatively small alteration to the permission granted 4 months ago to extend and remodel a 1960s house to provide better living space and to fit in better with neighbouring homes. The change is to widen the bay window facing onto Hillside Road and reorganise the internal layout to create extra space. The only thing which isn't clear from the plans is whether the larger footprint affects access and parking, which matters because this is a corner plot. Recommend approval providing the planning officer and Kent Highways are still satisfied with access and parking arrangements.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Thank you. Any debate? Can we vote then, please? All in favour? Thank you. Carried. Councillor Willis, 36 High Street.
Okay, so this is another listed building in a conservation area. It's internal works. There's a lovely picture of one of their beams that's kind of cracked and falling. And they need to fix it. So approval subject to conservation officer being satisfied.
Okay, do we have a seconder? Thank you. Any debate? Can we vote then, please? All in favour? Thank you. Carried. Devon Oaks School, councillor McGlydes.
Thank you, Chair. So the proposal is to demolish the existing two-storey ground store and scoreboard hut and construct a new steel garage on a concrete slab foundation. So the proposal is going to have a 25-metre square footprint, which is, no, not square, so 25-metre footprint, which is larger than the existing building. But it's on the side of the Devon Oaks School Sports Pavilion. It's well shielded from neighbouring properties. There's no parking provision and no changes to parking or landscaping. So I don't see any problems with this. So recommendation, approval, provided the planning officer is satisfied with the designs and material.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Thank you. Any debate? Can we vote then, please? All in favour? Thank you. Councillor Gaston, 138 Kippington.
Yeah, I have written a lot here, so I will try to speed through it. Won't read it all. 138 Kippington Road. This is a 3-bedroom bungalow in the conservation area. It's located in the corner of Kippington and Fenchurch Farm Road. They're proposing quite a modest rear single-storey extension, which squares off the existing wall line. It is currently a 1980s sort of red brick tile hung property. That the proposal is to change the fields into a white blender, with an ornamental stone brick gable housing the front door. It also rearranges a lot of the fenestration. All the side windows are to be removed, and the doors across the front would be replaced with windows, so they'll have a more balanced appearance. So my comments are there are already several examples of white render and painted brickwork within Kippington. The extension is located to the rears and well screened by a 2-metre hedge onto Clench's Farm, so that we're not no impact on the street scene. And the removal of the side windows would improve neighbourhood amenity, no people affected. So I recommend approval subject to the conservation officer being satisfied with the material changing.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Thank you. Any debate? Can we vote then, please? All in favour? Thank you. Legislator Tennyson, councillor O'Hara.
This is the proposal for demolition of 3 existing storage outbuildings and an entrance hall and conservatory. It's a rear side extension with roof lights and a loft conversion and a new porch, a new patio and some steps. The rear and side extensions are just 2 single-storey, and the loft conversion is only visible from the rear if anybody was in the rear, but there isn't anybody there, so nobody can see in, nobody can see out. And the neighbouring half of this semi-detached house could be impacted in terms of sunlight and daylight, however, privacy shouldn't be impacted. The fact that because there are no new windows inside the elevation facing the partner side. The brick materials will be a match, but the side elevation also has composite dark cladding, which no other houses have got. So from looking at the plans and the elevations from the rear plans, the elevations from the rear appear to pass the 45-degree test, which I found useful for protractor, but I don't believe the site plan would. It's really busy up to the planning officer whether he's satisfied that the materials in the porch are in keeping with the character of the seat stream, and there will be no unacceptable loss of privacy or light caused by either neighbours or by neighbours on either side. So it's I've sort of passed the buck really onto the planning officer because I can't see any reason why it should be refused, provided he's happy with the cladding.
Okay.
So I'm approving it,
Subject to,
subject to planning officer being satisfied.
okay. With the materials and whatever.
Hmm.
Okay, can I have a seconder, please? Thank you. Any debate? Can we vote then, please? All in favour? Thank you. Councillor Shay, Broomfield, 25.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry, I didn't write this up. It's very straightforward. It's a semi-detached house on Brookfield Road, 3-bed semi, and it has permission already for a 2-storey side extension and rear extension. This has a bay window that goes from goes ground floor to first floor. It currently has a flat roof. This amendment is to put a pitched roof over the very small protruding part of the upper floor of this bay window, and I recommend approval.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Thank you. Any debate? Can we vote then, please? All in favour? Thank you. Moving on, Thornwood, councillor Gusted.
Yes, this is Thornwood. It's another single-storey side extension. Thornwood's a large detached property on Oak Lane, and they want to replace the existing single-storey extension, which sits at the rear corner of the property, with a larger single-storey extension that expands the higher depth of the house, providing a new open-plan living space. There are accompanying landscape works to increase the car parking at the front. Thornwood does sit up a hill, so there will also be some new retaining walls put in, but all the hard standing will be permeable, and the extensions keeping with the existing building, so I recommend approval.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Thank you. Any debate? Can we vote then, please? All in favour? Thank you. Moving on, councillor Lane, 57 Bayham Road.
Seems to have stepped out.
Have I missed one?
No, she's stepped out.
Okay, we'll come back to that. Councillor Michaelides, number 22, War Memorial Vine.
Chair, I think we're all very glad to see this. This is for the cleaning and restoration works for the Vine War Memorial Document. That, like I said, fantastic to see this going ahead. It's an STC application, therefore the usual advice is for STC not to comment.
Okay, all right, noted.
Good news.
Good.
Yeah, but we're all
Yes,
very,
there you go.
yeah, really.
Do you guys, no, we just don't comment. All right, we don't normally vote on that, do we? Right. Moving on, councillor Dixon, 9A, Harry Road.
Yeah, this is one we've seen before. It's a large plot at the back of 9 Mount Harry Road, where they're building a new detached house, which actually will front onto Pendennis Road. This is all, the building has already been approved, and I think even one amendment has been approved, and building is well underway. There is a single-storey side extension, which this latest annexation applies to. Basically, they're making some internal alterations to the way the space is subdivided, so that doesn't have any impact on anybody else. And they are also putting in, I think it's 3 Velux roof lights on a sloping roof to this extension. And because they're Velux lights on a sloping roof, I don't think that will impact on any of the neighbours either. They're quite close to 6 Pendennis Road. That's the only neighbour it could be relevant to. And because of the nature of the fenestration, I don't think it's a problem. So my recommendation was approval.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Thank you. Any debate? Can we vote then, please? All in favour? Thank you. Councillor Lane, can we come back to you for 47 Bayham Road?
Yes, okay. This is the installation of a new cast iron soil and you had to apologise, I haven't got my own glasses today, so everything's at, what number are you?
1.5.
Well, yeah, that'll be better than what I've got. Hooray, I can see. Installation of a new cast iron soil and vent stack on the external wall to serve a proposed new ensuite, along with the addition of discrete exhaust fan grills to serve the new ensuite and existing bathrooms. 57 Bayham Road is a semi-detached listed dwelling that contributes positively to the character and appearance of the surrounding area. The building retains historical and speak today, let alone see, architectural features and materials which contribute to its heritage, its significance. So do I need to go into all of these? Do you want me to read them? I mean, I will do. So according to the heritage statement, the proposed works are considered to have minimal impact on the heritage significance of the listed building for the following reasons. The work are limited in scale and nature. The proposal does not involve removal of significant historic fabric. The new ensuite is contained within the existing building envelope, and the exhaust fan grills are small, discreet and sensitively located. The cast iron stack uses traditional materials appropriate to the building. The proposed additions are functional requirements necessary to improve the usability of the property while ensuring minimal visual and physical impact on the historical building. So I recommend approval.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Thank you. Any debate? Yes.
Could we have it subject to the conservation officer being happy, as it is a listed building?
If you're happy with that, I'm happy with that.
Thank you.
Okay, so we make that adjustment. Any further debate? Can we vote then, please? All in favour? Thank you. Carried. So then we move back to 136 High Street, I think. Councillor Brownhill?
Thank you, Chair. This is this is for 136 High Street, which is the Purex site. And it's the proposal is a variation of what 106 agreement in respect to the car club obligations, which are part of the travel plan that was essential. Description from the planning application form, which was handwritten, so I've typed it out, so I think it's worth reading. Application to vary the wording of section 106 in respect to the car club obligations scheduled for. Please state why you're applying. We've been unable to secure a car club provider for the following reasons. One, Enterprise Car Rental is the only operator in the area and utilise electric vehicles. Kent Fire Brigade have raised concerns in respect to providing electric charging points in the basement car park. No suitable alternative for on-site or street bay, not an economically viable location for the provider. And additional information, we have been liaising with Seven Oaks District Council for some time in respect of alternative options, but these are found to be unviable. My comments include very useful note from Seven Oaks Society on the portal, which I'm using. So from the application on the 29th of December 1920, this was the original application where we looked at the whole site. A motion for refusal was put forward at that time in 2020, seconded and passed at the vote. Seven Oaks Town Council recommended refusal on the following grounds, several including inadequate car parking provision for a number of flats proposed. It was granted, but a draft travel plan document was submitted in March 2025, which is part of the planning approval, and was refused on the grounds that it had not sufficiently met the requirements of the legal agreement, and more detail was required to discharge as part of section 106 in the interest of highway safety, etc. The revised travel plan is still awaited. This late application for a variation of the section 106 agreement in respect of the car club obligations can only be considered in the context of proposals for the travel plan as a whole. Among other things, the applicant should be asked, I think the applicant should be asked to demonstrate what alternatives to a car club have been investigated to achieve car sharing arrangements for residents beyond reliance on standard car club providers. So my recommendation is refusal, pending the submission of further information about alternatives to a car club and about the proposed travel plan meeting the rest of the relevant section 106 agreement. And the amended section, thank you Georgie for this, the amended section 106 would no longer mitigate the unacceptable impact of lack of car parking provision, failing the first test. It remains directly related to the development. The lack of parking provision is specifically caused by the number of apartments, and it is a large-scale development. The loss will have a significant and unacceptable negative impact on future and nearby residents. So its retention is justified compared to scale. So that's my refusal. And
do we have a seconder? Thank you. Any debate? Yes, councillor
Well, I think
Gladys.
it's very, very sad to see this, because
Yeah.
I'm sure many of us will remember the heated debates
Yeah.
about the, you
Yes,
know,
it's
about
your
the lack
application,
of.
wasn't it?
Yes,
Yes.
it was my original application, and we were very concerned about it, so I'm a bit shocked, honestly, to see this.
Well, we
lack
want to
of-
watch, I think.
Yeah, well,
I mean, I think it's right what you've said, recommend
yeah,
refusal.
absolutely right.
I don't want to, sorry, go on.
Councillor Shay?
I find the reasons given extraordinary. Because we have a car club run by Enterprise in our Baton Ball car park, and they're hybrid. So to say that Enterprise only use electric vehicles is
Not
not the evidence that we have. There are other ways to do it, but it's also extraordinary to think that they're building, there is a little bit of car parking down there, isn't there? And they're not putting in any EV charging points in, they must be, they must be. And I was just going through the report for the original application, I haven't found what I was looking for. But it seems extraordinary that the fire brigade are concerned about electrical charging points in a car park, because it's happening everywhere. If that were the
Waitrose,
case,
yes.
why would there be any in the Waitrose basement car park? There must be a way around this, there must be.
There must be,
Yeah,
yes.
there are people sleeping above them. And I do know we've had an incident in Sevenoaks of an electric car catching fire, so I'm not surprised by that concern.
Yes.
Can I ask a neighbour, what is a car club?
Yes, that's what I want to know.
Is it where, I mean, presumably share a car, right?
Yeah.
So how's that work? You go to your next door neighbour and say, I'm gonna go to.
There you go.
Find a line of like,
Some cars available that Enterprise provide for communal use. I
Okay.
think.
So if you live in that,
Use and you
so if
book
you live
them.
in that, but you can apply to use.
Yeah.
You can vote on that.
You can hire it.
You can hire
it,
yeah, through Enterprise.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Councillor
I
McLeod?
think what's so disappointing about this is that when the applicants came with this proposal originally, they went to great lengths to reassure us that these issues that we were concerned about would be mitigated and would be addressed, and these were all the ways they were going to address it. And so to see this at this late stage, disappointing.
Especially when it looks like some of the information isn't quite as
Yeah.
accurate as it could be. So I think that's the right way forward. Okay, so if there's no further debate, let's vote on that recommendation. All in favour? Thank you. Carried. Driftwood, councillor Gaspard.
Yes, so Riftwood is on Oak Avenue and it's locally listed. It's an application for a garage extension. Which will run along the south boundary to avoid any impact on the view of this locally listed house. It has the new hip ridge of this extension. At the moment, it's a gable sort of double garage and they're doubling the length of it. The height will remain at the current ridge height, which is a bit longer. It also has two dormers in the roof, giving additional accommodation. So there'll be a home office in the new extension and a gym and WC upstairs. Existing boundary greenery remains untouched. And all materials are to match existing and be salvaged where possible. So this is actually identical to a scheme that was approved in May 23, but that permission is now expired. So my recommendation is approval.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Thank you. Any debate? Can we vote then, please? All in favour? Thank you. And the last one, Kent Cottage, councillor Lane.
The closest to replace existing glazing with vacuum glazing as per methodology within design access and heritage statement. Kent Cottage is a grade 2 listed property and it's setting within the Wilderness Conservation Area setback from the main roads sandwiched between Sea Hollow Road and Willingdon. Is that Willingdon or should it be Hillingdon?
I think it should be Hillingdon.
Yeah, in the northeastern section of Sevenoaks. The application has been produced following the grant of planning permission at Kent Cottage under application number 21. The approval permits the enhancement and repair of the listed building, including a minor extension and repairs to windows. A methodology for this repair has been submitted to discharge the necessary condition. However, the statement supports a fresh application to optimise the thermal performance beyond the scope of the previous repair methodology. This upgrades will improve the thermal quality of the fenestration while also retaining the design, which is in line with the existing windows. And I have read it at some extent, and they're replacing like for like in character with the building. So I'm satisfied that the applicant has addressed all the criteria, and maybe I should just add, providing the conservation officer is happy, then I seek approval.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Thank you. Any debate?
Wondered what vacuum glazing is.
Better than gas.
No idea.
It's the new technology.
It's just kind of a form of double glazing.
It's a form of double glazing, which doesn't use gas.
Councillor Lake, are these mullion windows, you know, the kind of?
Yes, they're glazing bulbs.
So is this
Yeah,
what
like
they're-
leaded ones, so that, yes, so instead of just sticking on
Yeah.
lead strips, they are done in the authentic way.
Presumably this is
Really?
all about.
Yeah,
price.
yeah, so it is incredible, I've read it, it's really interesting, and I think it's a little bit like like a double glazing in that the air is trapped between the two panes of glass.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful house, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, right. Can we vote on that then, please? All in favour? Thank you. Carried. Back to the agenda, press releases. Do we have any press releases, ladies and gentlemen? No? Okay, that brings us to the end. Thank you, everyone, and I close the meeting at 20:57. I am not used to doing this.